Okay, so you know how sometimes you revisit an album
Mm.
years later and it like
Right.
hits completely different?
Yeah,
That's Mos Def's Black on Both Sides for me.
right.
Like I always thought it was a classic,
Yeah.
but diving deep into the lyrics,
Uh-huh.
the music, the whole vibe of 1999,
Yeah.
it's like I'm hearing it with fresh ears, you know?
It's amazing how certain albums can do that.
Yeah.
And you're spot on about Black on both sides.
Hmm.
To really get it, to really grasp its significance,
Okay.
we need to rewind to 1999,
Yeah.
a pivotal year for hip hop.
Okay.
Imagine the world was still reeling from Biggie and Tupac's deaths.
Yeah.
Gangsta rap was everywhere,
Everywhere.
but change was brewing.
So Black on Both Sides wasn't just riding this wave of change.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually pushing things in a new direction.
Exactly.
Okay.
Musically, it went against the grain.
Really?
Instead of relying solely on samples and drum machines,
Right.
Mos Def embraced live instrumentation.
Incorporating jazz, funk, even rock elements.
Wow.
It was a bold move
Yeah.
that gave the album a timeless quality.
It's funny, you can hear those influences,
Yeah.
but it never sounds dated, even now.
Right.
It's like he was tapping into something that transcended genres.
Mhm.
Speaking of transcending in New World Water, he raps.
Okay.
Yeah, check the methodology, pure speculation. The filtration, degradation, contamination situation facing the whole nation.
Wow.
It's almost eerie how relevant those lyrics are today.
Right.
Like he was predicting the headlines.
That's what makes Mos Def such a fascinating figure.
Yeah.
He wasn't just reflecting his time.
Right.
He was challenging listeners to think critically about the world around them.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us to the album's title,
Okay.
Black on Both Sides.
Yeah.
A phrase loaded with meaning.
Yeah. It seems simple at first glance,
Yeah.
but there's a lot to unpack there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
On one level, it reflects the complexities of Black identity.
Particularly within the context of late 20th century America, the Afrocentric movement, which emphasized the cultural and historical contributions of Africa and the diaspora,
Right.
was gaining momentum.
Yeah.
And you can hear its influence in Mos Def's lyrics.
Okay.
He's connecting with a global Black consciousness reaching back to his roots.
But it's not just about external forces shaping identity, right? It's also about the internal struggle of figuring out who you are.
You hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
Black on Both Sides also speaks to that internal struggle of reconciling different parts of yourself. It's about embracing the full spectrum of your identity with all its contradictions and complexities.
Okay.
And this idea isn't just buried in the lyrics. Mos Def brings it to life through his musical choices.
Okay.
Take Umi Says, for example.
Oh, man. Umi Says is pure vibes.
Exactly.
Every time I hear it, it just pulls me in.
And that's no accident. The song's meditative atmosphere is carefully crafted.
Wow.
The laid-back tempo, the hypnotic bass line, the gentle strumming of the acoustic guitar, they all work together to create this feeling of introspection.
And then there's the way he repeats, I want my people to be free, to be free, to be free.
Yes.
It's not just a political statement. It feels like a deeply personal yearning.
It's like he's tapping into a universal desire for liberation.
Yeah.
Not just from physical chains, but from mental and spiritual ones as well.
Okay.
Umi Says is a powerful example of how Mos Def uses music to elevate his message beyond simple rhetoric.
Wow.
It's about reaching for something deeper, something more profound.
It's that depth that elevates the album beyond what people typically think of as conscious rap. It's not just about pointing out problems. It's about exploring the human condition with honesty and vulnerability.
Yes.
And he does it all without sounding preachy.
Right.
Which is a real feat. I've heard my share of conscious rap that feels more like a lecture than a conversation.
Yeah.
But Black on Both Sides pulls you in, makes you think, makes you feel.
That's the power of storytelling, wouldn't you say? Mos Def doesn't just present abstract ideas.
Right.
He grounds them in lived experience.
Yeah.
He shows you the human impact of systemic issues.
Right.
And he does it with incredible lyrical precision.
You know, you mentioned mathematics earlier. That track always blows me away.
Yeah.
It's like he took a statistics textbook and turned it into a hip-hop masterpiece.
Mathematics is a perfect example of how Mos Def blends social commentary with hard-hitting lyricism.
Okay.
He doesn't shy away from complex topics like economic inequality, the prison industrial complex, and racial profiling.
Yeah.
In fact, he tackles them head on using vivid imagery and thought-provoking wordplay.
And he backs it up with facts, right?
Exactly.
He's not just complaining about the system.
Right.
He's naming names, citing statistics, connecting the dots between policy and its real-world consequences.
Precisely.
Wow.
He reps, it's one universal law, but two sides to every story. 3 strikes and you'd be in for life, mandatory.
Yeah.
Those lines encapsulate the heart of the song.
Okay.
The way seemingly neutral systems like mandatory minimum sentencing laws can have devastating and disproportionate impacts on marginalized communities.
It's like he's saying, don't just listen to me, go do the math yourself.
Yeah.
And you know what that was back in 99?
Right.
Makes you think about how much or how little has really changed.
That's the mark of a true visionary.
Yeah.
Mos Def wasn't just speaking to his present.
Right.
He was laying bare the systemic issues that continue to plague us today. And he did it in a way that was both intellectually stimulating and musically captivating.
It's like he was fluent in multiple languages at the same time. The language of hip-hop, the language of social justice, the language of the human heart.
Yeah.
It's all woven together seamlessly.
Yeah. And that's what makes Black on Both Sides such a rich listening experience.
Okay.
You can dive into the lyrics, dissect the historical context, groove to the music, or just let it wash over you.
Wow.
There's something there for everyone.
Yeah.
And the more you engage with it, the more rewarding it becomes.
It's really incredible when you think about it. This album dropped in 99.
Yeah.
But it's still sparking conversations, inspiring artists, making us question the world around us. It's more than just an album. It's a cultural touchstone.
Absolutely. Black on Both Sides had a ripple effect.
Yeah.
That extended far beyond the realm of hip-hop.
Right.
It helped pave the way for a new generation of artists who were unafraid to be both conscious and commercially successful.
You know, it's not just about the music either. You can trace the album's influence to spoken word poetry.
Right.
Activism, even academic circles.
Yep.
It's like Mos Def's words sparked a fire that spread to all these different areas.
Precisely.
Wow.
His lyrics were analyzed in college classrooms.
Right.
Quoted in speeches and protests.
Yeah.
Shared and debated in online forums.
Wow.
He tapped into something universal. Something that resonated with people from all walks of life.
Right.
It's a testament to the power of art to transcend boundaries and ignite social change.
He really was a visionary.
Yeah.
This album feels like a blueprint for how to use your platform to challenge the status quo, to elevate the conversation, to inspire critical thinking.
Right.
But it makes me wonder if Black on Both Sides was released today in 2024.
Okay.
With all the noise and distractions, would it have the same impact?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
We live in a different world now.
Right.
Information overload is rampant. Attention spans are shrinking.
Yeah.
And algorithms often dictate what we consume. It makes you wonder if a work of such depth and complexity could cut through the clutter.
Would it get lost in the shuffle?
Yeah.
Or would it still resonate with listeners who are hungry for something more than just catchy hooks and empty lyrics?
It's hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
But I'd like to believe that Mos Def's message would still find its audience.
Okay.
The issues he tackles, social justice, economic inequality, the search for identity, those are timeless themes that will always be relevant to the human experience.
You know, at the end of the day, great art has a way of finding its way to the people who need it most.
Right.
And Black on Both Sides, 25 years later, is still doing just that.
Absolutely.
It's a powerful reminder that music can be more than just entertainment. It can be a catalyst for critical thought, social change, and personal transformation.
It's a testament to the enduring power of a voice that refuses to be silenced.